On this episode of John's Garage, we put new tires on the Camaro and we test drive her in the rain. So now it's time to move on to the next opportunity to get it roadworthy, and that is tires. It turns out that the tires on the car right now have lots of tread left, but they're old. I got to looking at the date code on them, and they're dated 2014. So that's a 10-year-old tire. Not bad for around town, but not a good idea for a 1,400-mile road trip. So we're gonna zip these wheels off of this car and get ready to put a new set of tires on. So it is super cold out here this morning. Our weather has been crazy in Louisiana. This is mid-March, and it was 37 degrees when I got up this morning. So I'm gonna get busy so I can warm up, and we'll kind of walk you through the whole process of getting the new tires mounted on the Z28 rims. Always learning lessons. The first center cap that I knocked out, I knocked all the teeth out. I thought you could just knock it out from the back like you would any other center cap on a wheel like this, but they're plastic and they're very fragile. So that didn't go too well. So what you end up having to do is you have to get under the lip of the cap like so. And this one's really tight, and you kind of have to pry it out. You still may not be 100%. Look, I got it. So you can see no teeth broken off on that one. So luckily I have extra center caps and bow ties. Had the bow ties printed at a local print shop, which is kind of cool. One more quick tip for you. I went ahead on the back side of each tire and wrote the position of where it was on this car. This is a right front. So when we mount them on Jacob's wheels, they'll be on the same position in the car, and you won't have any issues with rotation or, you know, balance or what have you, because they're used to going a certain direction. So there you go. That's my 2 tips from this experience. Don't knock your teeth out like I did. Be careful with your center caps. Now we're gonna load them in a truck and go mount up some brand new tires. See, in the back of the truck, I've actually got 6 wheels loaded up because we're gonna take 2 of my best tires off of my car and put them on my son-in-law's rims for his Camaro. It's actually right there in his garage. So we're gonna head out to Nobody Customs and we're gonna watch them mount up these new tires, and we're gonna learn in the process. I love learning how things are actually done. Let's go check it out. All right, so we made it out here to Nobody Customs, and this is a full service custom shop. Behind me, you'll see the body shop. They do everything ground up. And then behind me over here where the truck's parked is the assembly room and where they do the final prep. And the other side of that shop, they have a full upholstery shop on site as well. And then right there is their main office, and that's where we're gonna go in and pay for our parts and actually go see how they put these tires on these rims. Grant is going to hook us up. We're gonna kind of watch him mount up these new tires. I have no idea how you do it, but I do know right now he's letting the air out. I could even do that. Let's see how it goes. it does. This will be fun. Gentlemen, ladies, wait for it. Boom! All you want is all zeros, baby.
That's right.
Brant, you are the man. Thanks for being a good trooper. For a guy that didn't win on camera, you did great. I'm gonna leave him alone so you can get the rest of it done, because it's way faster if I'm not asking a bunch of questions. All right, so it's the next morning, and we got everything unloaded from Nobody Customs last night. And I realized when I woke up this morning, I never told you about the actual tire that I decided to go with for the Camaro. What it is a General GT G-Max, and it had a very similar tread life to the last set of tires I had, which really did well. So that was a big factor. But honestly, the biggest factor was price. These were on closeout on Tire Rack, and I got all 4 of them for less than $400. That is a really good price. So keep an eye on Tire Rack. You never know, you might find a super good deal. But that's what we went with. So what we're gonna do now is I'm gonna, of course, put them back on the Camaro. And once we get them mounted up on the car, I wanna share a tip with you that will really make your life easier on the road. I'm not gonna spoil it just yet, but I wanna show you what I do to make sure that if heaven forbid I have a flat tire, I'm not more angry than I already am. Let's go put these wheels back on the car. Okay, so we're at the last wheel, and I wanted to come and show you the one thing I promised you, but I have a couple other ideas too that I want to pass on to you. I do use a impact wrench to just run the nuts up onto the wheel. I do not tighten them that way, and I always hand thread the lug nuts first. So, because you can cross thread them very easily, and I always run up the very bottom one first. I go real slow and just stop right there because the wheel wants to kick out this way. Now it's more stable, and you can take your time, and basically I just hand start all of them. That way you don't get any cross threading, because that's another side of the road issue. If you cross thread a lug nut, make for a really bad day. I just kind of star pattern the run up. Not super tight, just enough. Yeah. Okay, just like that. That's all I do at that point. And it's just basically on there. Then the last tip, and this is the real lifesaver on the side of the road. You take your same little socket you were using for your impact wrench, and you put it on a torque wrench. And the torque spec for this car is 100 pounds. So what I'll do is I'll actually tighten each of the lug nuts on all 4 sides of the car to 100 pounds. Why is that a big deal? If you just rely on this and you drive it up there, there's a strong possibility you're going to overdrive it and have a real hard time getting the lug nut loose on the side of the road. I've had to stand on a breaker bar before when a tire shop has done the job. So that's my tip. Torque wrench, you can get them real inexpensively at Harbor Freight. This happens to be a Craftsman from years ago, but it'll save your life on the side of the road. All right, so all that's left to do now is put the lug nut covers back on, if I don't lose them all. Pop the center cap back in, then of course clean the wheel. And I use Meguiar's Quick Detailer for the entire surface of the car. Glass, wheels, chrome. It works amazing, and it kind of applies a little coat of wax every time you put it on, so that's cool. My one tip for you on these lug nut covers is what I do. Once again, I kind of just hand thread them, and then I use my ratchet extension and that same socket, and I just kind of twist them on like that. You do not want to use air or a electric impact putting those plastic covers on, because you will split them every time. Wow. Can't believe it. We've got another item checked off the list. We've got tires installed on the Camaro. I decided to go ahead and drive it in the rain because if it's going on power tour, it's likely to get wet. And it's gotten wet before. It's not a show car. But I can tell you right now, the new tires are amazing. You don't really realize how bad your tires are until you get new ones. But I can still hear all that noise in the rear suspension, so that definitely is going to be next on the list, is get all those bushings replaced by putting some new components back there. So there you go, a little bonus footage for you. Thanks for watching, and in a future episode, more improvements will be made. We're going to go drive some more, have some fun with it. Joel, so Joel's the owner of Nobody Customs. Man, what the heck is that green thing, and what does it do?
Well, it'll seat the bead. If one wants a seat on it, just as an instant boost of air pressure. So you plug it up, and then it gets up. What's the PSI it gets up to, Brad? Like
125.
125.
125.
And then you take it off, and you put that in there around the bead, and you hit the trigger, and then it's an instant burst of air.
Oh boy, I heard it.
No.
Man.
Tire done.
Wow. I can see why you'd want a warning about that. Wow, Jacob, that was for you.